Welcome to the MOOCs course Mechanical Unit Operations. We are discussing flow through packed beds or flow through beds of solids. We have already seen how to develop pressure drop equation for different Reynolds number regions, that is for small Reynolds number region REP less than 1 as well as the large Reynolds number REP greater than 10 power 3. And then we have also assumed that the contribution due to the viscous losses and then kinetic losses are kind of additive in total pressure drop that is occurring while a fluid is flowing through a packed bed. We assume that the fluid is a kind of Newtonian and incompressible Newtonian fluid, right. So, that is what we have seen. So, we just have a kind of summary of the equations what we have derived in the previous lecture, because this lecture is a kind of a followed part of the previous lecture. So, flow through packed beds, pressure drop of a Newtonian fluid flowing through a packed bed. We have seen Kuznick-Arman equation for REP less than 1. We have derived it as delta P by L is equals to 150 V naught bar mu 1 minus epsilon whole square divided by pi square dP square epsilon cube. This equation for pressure drop. So, that is if a fluid is flowing through a packed bed, but under very small flow rates or that having the Reynolds number very small less than 1, then laminar flow conditions exist, and under those laminar flow conditions the pressure drop for a fluid we can obtain by this equation. Okay. The pressure drop of a fluid flowing through a packed bed, we can obtain this equation provided the Reynolds number is less than 1. So, because here in the right hand side everything is known, V naught bar is a kind of a superficial velocity or empty tower velocity, mu is the viscosity of the fluid are known in general, and then epsilon is the voidage of the bed. So, that is also known. For a given type of particle, the size of the particle or sphericity of the particle are known in general. So, everything is known in the right hand side. So, simply one can substitute these parameters and then find out what is this pressure drop, right. Similarly, for REP greater than 10 power 3, then we have seen that Burke-Plummer equation that holds very good, that is delta P by L is equals to 1.75 rho V naught square divided by pi s dP multiplied by 1 minus epsilon divided by epsilon cube. This equation valid for calculating the pressure drop of a Newtonian fluid flowing through a packed bed provided the Reynolds number is very large, that is turbulent conditions prevail within the bed. Okay. Then what about the intermediate range of Reynolds number? Let us say the flow rate is not very small, flow rate is not very large, that the flow conditions or the Reynolds number are less than 1 or greater than 10 power 3 respectively. Then what we do? We assume that the contribution due to these small Reynolds number flows and then high Reynolds number flows, whatever the pressure drops are there, the viscous losses, contribution due to the viscous losses in the pressure drop, and then contribution due to the kinetic losses in the pressure drop are additive. So, whatever the first equation is there, that the equation number 8 indicates kind of contribution of the viscous losses in the total pressure drop that has occurred for a fluid flowing through packed bed. Similarly, equation number 10 provides a kind of information about the contribution of kinetic energy losses in the pressure drop calculation for a fluid flowing through a packed bed under high Reynolds number, right. So, but in general there may be cases where the contribution of viscous losses and then kinetic losses both may be of significant importance, and both of them may be contributing to the pressure drop of the fluid flowing through this packed bed. So, under such conditions how to find? We found that if we add together these two individual contributions, then whatever the pressure drop is there, that is suitable for the entire range of Reynolds number starting from small Reynolds number to the large Reynolds number. So, this is the Ergun's equation which is valid for all ranges of Reynolds number encompassing small Reynolds number to the large Reynolds number range, right. Ergun has also found this equation is very much suitable for different types of packing materials like spheres, cylinders, crushed materials, etc. And then he also found that for this equation valid for wide range of the flow rates, small range to the larger range flow rates, that is nothing but small Reynolds number to the larger Reynolds number ranges. This equation holds good. He also found that by doing several experiments, small change in epsilon is going to show a kind of a significant change in a kind of a pressure drop, whether it increasing or decreasing, that depends on the whether epsilon is increasing or decreasing, right. So, this even a small change, like let us say if you change the voidage from 0.44 to 0.46, it is going to show a kind of significant effect on this pressure drop. That also Ergun has found by doing several experiments, right. Up to this part we have seen in the previous lecture. Now, we try to find out the magnitude of viscous losses contributing to the pressure drop here. Similarly, magnitude of kinetic energy losses which is contributing to the pressure drop of a fluid flowing through this packed bed. How to do this one? Simply whatever the pressure drop is there here from this equation, the pressure drop if you divide by kinetic energy, that is half rho v square, then we get a kind of a magnitude of kinetic energy losses. But in which equation should we make this adjustment? That we should do only in equation number 10 if we are looking for kinetic energy losses, because equation number 10 is primarily talks about only the kinetic energy losses contribution in the pressure drop. Okay. So, if you wanted to find out the magnitude of the viscous losses in this pressure drop contribution in this pressure drop, then the pressure drop should be divided by the viscous forces per unit area, and then equation that should be used, that is the equation number 8, because equation number 8 talks about the contribution of the viscous losses in the pressure drop calculations for a Newtonian fluid flowing through packed bed here. Right. So, that is what we are going to do now here. So, let us start with the kinetic energy losses. So, whatever the delta P is there, that we are dividing by half rho v square. V is average velocity within the bed. V bar here we have taken designation notation V bar, it is not V power minus 2, it is V bar. So, this V bar is nothing but the average velocity of the fluid within the bed. Okay. That is not known, but we found that this V bar is nothing but V bar V naught bar divided by epsilon, that is the superficial velocity or empty tower velocity, or under this pressure drop condition without packing, if you allow the fluid, whatever the velocity is existing, average velocity is existing in the empty tower, that velocity is V naught bar. So, that is in general known, and then epsilon is the kind of a voidage of the bed. So, everything is known. So, now what we do in equation number 10, that is the pressure drop at high Reynolds number, that is Burke-Plummer equation that we take, that equation we rearrange such that, or both the side that equation if we divide by rho by 2 V naught bar by epsilon whole square, then we get the magnitude of the kinetic energy losses in the pressure drop calculation for flow of a Newtonian fluid through packed beds. When we do this one, we get in the right hand side 2 into 1.75 1 minus epsilon by epsilon multiplied by L pi s dp, right. So, this right hand side this equation everything is known, voidage is in general known for a given bed, sphericity of the particles in general known, and then the equivalent diameter of the volume equivalent diameter of the particles are known for a given system. Let us say if you take a voidage 0.4 and then if you calculate what is the right hand side term, you will get right hand side term of the previous equation 5.25 multiplied by L by pi s dp. What this L by pi s dp indicates? L is the height of the packing, dp is the the size of the particle, the equivalent size of the particle, or volume equivalent sphere diameter of the particle, that is known. For a spherical particle, dp is nothing but the diameter of the particle. Okay. For short cylinders, dp should be equivalent diameter we have to find out for short cylinder and then multiply by its sphericity 0.874, that is what we have to do. This indicates the pressure drop corresponds to a loss of 5.25 velocity heads for each layer of particles, whatever this L by pi s dp is indicating the layer of particles. Okay. So, the pressure drop under these conditions when epsilon is 0.4, it corresponds to a loss of 5.25 times the velocity heads for each layer of particles. Like you have a kind of bed like this, there is a perforated plate, and then different particles are there, like a kind of layers kind of particle, like they are, if it is like a spherical particles, you can see like of spherical particles, and of all of them are of same size, you can easily say that these particles are one particle another, they are forming a kind of layer. So each layer is going to offer, let us say this is one layer, so this one layer, this two layer, this is second layer, let us say third layer if I write, so each layer of particle, per whatever the packed bed height that has been taken, that is offering 5.25 times the velocity head of a pressure drop, right. That is what it means by pressure drop, corresponds to a loss of 5.25 times velocity heads for each layer of particles. Now similarly, we try to find out the magnitude of viscous losses. Viscous losses, what if viscous forces are there, the viscous forces whatever are there divided by area if you do, right. So you will get viscous losses per area. This particular term, the pressure drop, if you divide by this particular term, then you will get a kind of magnitude of the viscous losses, or the contribution of the viscous losses in the overall pressure drop of fluid flowing through packed bed. What is this this Fv, that viscous force? We have already seen by Stokes drag, or on a single particle whatever the Stokes drag is there, or the drag force in the Stokes limit is there, that is nothing but the viscous force, okay, because that is the only force acting under the small Reynolds number range, and that is the viscous force. So that is 3 pi mu v bar d, that is what, and then the area of the particle, that is pi, let us say if you take dp square, that if you do, you get this term, like pi and pi is cancelled out here, okay, and then 3 mu by dp, so 1 dp, and then square of this dp is cancelled out. So 3 mu by dp, v bar is nothing but v naught bar by epsilon. So from the Koźny-Kármán equation, whatever the delta p by L is equals to 150 pi square dp square and all that term is there, from that equation if you divide by this particular term, then you will get the magnitude of viscous losses. Why that particular equation, Koźny-Kármán equation? Because that is the equation showing the pressure drop due to the viscous losses only, okay. No other contributions are included in that equation. And then indeed we wanted to know the magnitude of viscous losses, we do not want to find out include other terms here, okay. Then from equation 8 we have this delta p is equals to 150 v naught bar mu 1 minus epsilon whole square L by pi s square dp square epsilon cube, right. So this is the Koźny-Kármán equation. Now both side this equation, if you divide by 3 mu v naught bar by dp epsilon, then you will get this particular term. So this indicates a kind of a magnitude of viscous losses for one layer of particles, okay. So that is for one layer of particles, the pressure drop is going to be 50 times L 1 minus epsilon by epsilon whole square times the viscous forces. So that is what it indicates per unit, but this here also we have L by dp, so that indicates per layer of particles, okay. So this is about magnitude of viscous losses and then kinetic losses, right. So now these equations we have developed for a generalized kind of cases of particles are having same size and shape, and then their size and shape we brought into the picture by including both pi s as well as the equivalent sphere volume equivalent diameter dp's that we have included here. But in general you may have a kind of a variety of particles, different types of mixtures of particles, like a few particles may be spherical, a few particles may be hemispherical, a few particles may be short cylinders, a few particles may be rashing rings, like that you may have different fractions. So under such conditions also these equations are valid. especially Erguni equation is valid as he has already tried different types of particles, right. So, but under such conditions what you have to do, you have to find out the surface mean diameter of the particle for this mixture of particles, the way that we have done previously in one of our lectures in screen analysis. There for a mixture of particles we found different types of mean diameter. So, surface mean diameter one has to take here for that case, and then same equation can be used exactly the similar way here. So, Ergun equation can be used for mixture of different particle sizes by using surface mean diameter instead of dP, simply that is it. Okay. So, now here the pressure drop equations, whatever the equation that we have derived here, we derived Kozhnik-Orman equation, we have derived Berg-Plummer equation, and then Ergun equation we have written. So, all these equations are in a kind of dimensional form, right. But in general in transport phenomena or momentum transfer especially, it is beneficial to write the final solutions in terms of dimensionless parameters. So, what we do, the pressure we try to write in a kind of dimensionless friction factor, and then remaining terms we write such a way that some kind of terms like Reynolds number etc., that will come into the picture. Indeed, dimensional analysis or dimensional consideration, if you do this equation, you will get two dimensionless parameters. One is the friction factor for a packed bed, another one is a kind of Reynolds number. So, before going to represent this Ergun equation in terms of those dimensionless parameters, we try to write what are those dimensionless parameters for a packed bed. For a single particle, Reynolds number we know that dP V bar rho by mu, but if you have a packed bed with a different types of particles, then what is the Reynolds number? Is it the same one or different one? That we define. Similarly, for friction factor for flow through a empty column, we know that tau W by of rho V square, that we know. But is it the same thing here in packed bed when we have the column or tower is filled with some kind of packing? That is what we are going to see first, and then generalize this Ergun equation in terms of those friction factor and Reynolds number, because that will be easier way of using this equation for calculations. And as well as they could be serve as a kind of generalized purpose rather than specific to some cases only. Okay. So, Reynolds number and friction factor relation for packed beds. So, as I said, for single particle we know Reynolds number, and then for a single empty column without packing we know the friction factor. We try to find out this expression for a packed bed or a column packed with a few particles, few types of particles, right. For single particle, especially for spherical particle, Reynolds number we know it as Rep is equals to dP V bar rho by mu. V bar is nothing but the average velocity, rho is the density of the fluid, mu is the viscosity of the fluid, dP is the diameter of the spherical particle, right. Now, in this equation dP we replace by d equivalent, and then V bar we replace by V naught bar by epsilon in order to bring in the effect of the packed bed characteristics in this Reynolds number. Then what will happen? We will have Rep is equals to d equivalent, V bar is nothing but V naught bar by epsilon. So, d equivalent V naught bar rho by mu epsilon we get. So, rho V naught bar by mu epsilon we keep as it is here. Then next level what we do? We write d equivalent expression. D equivalent expression, yesterday in the previous lecture we have derived it as 2 by 3 multiplied by epsilon by 1 minus epsilon multiplied by pi s dP. So, when you write this one, this equation, you will get 2 by 3 dP rho V naught bar by mu 1 minus epsilon pi s. Okay. So, this epsilon and this epsilon is cancelled out. So, for spherical particle especially the pi s is equals to 1, right. Then this 2 by 3 we in general we do not include, because they are in general meshed with lambda 1, lambda 2 etc., those kind of constants, right. So, without taking these 2 by 3 constants, and then for if you assume that particles are spherical particles, then Reynolds number is these things. dP rho V naught bar by mu 1 minus epsilon is the Reynolds number for a packed bed packed with spherical particles. If it is packed with a non-spherical particle, then pi s will also come into the picture. Only the 2 by 3 will not be there, because those constants in general we have the tortuosity factors lambda 1, lambda 2, etc. Those things we are having. So, in those things we mix up and then we write only the one Reynolds number, because this is what we get if you do the dimensional analysis or dimensional consideration if you do, and then try to find out what are the dimensionless parameters REP, you are going to get this one. You are not going to get anything is multiplied by that those kind of things. So, either of the reason that 2 by 3 can be taken off, right. Now, similarly what we do, friction factor. Friction factor in the case of packed bed. Before that what we do, friction factor in a empty tower, what we have tau W by of rho V bar square, and then this tau W is nothing but delta P by L d by 4 is nothing but tau W for a kind of Newtonian fluid flowing through a empty column, and then divided by this of rho V bar square is as it is. Then here what we get, this delta P by rho, if you rearrange this equation you will get here from this equation, if you rearrange delta P by rho is equals to of, or if you rearrange this equation, F is equals to 2 1 ja 2 2 ja, so F is equals to 1 by rho V bar square, this multiplied by delta P by L d by 2 you will get. Further you get here delta P by rho, if you keep one side, so then 2 F V bar square, 2 F V bar square divided by this d, and then this here multiplied by L. So, that is what you get, delta P by rho is equals to 2 F L V bar square by d. So, here delta P by rho is equals to 2 F L V bar square by d. Here now what we do, for F we are writing Fp, P stands for packed bed, in order to just differentiate between the friction factor for the case of empty column or empty pipe, and then friction factor with a column with having a kind of packed material. So, this Fp is for the packed bed, and then d is replaced by d equivalent. Similarly, V bar is also be replaced by V naught bar by epsilon. So, that is what we are going to do. From here we wanted to find out friction factor. So, let us keep Fp only one side, remaining terms if you write minus delta P by rho, d equivalent by 2L V bar square. So, minus delta P by rho is as it is, d equivalent we found it as 2 by 3 dP pi s epsilon by 1 minus epsilon in one of the previous lecture, okay, and then 1 by 2 L is as it is, and then V bar is like V naught bar by epsilon whole square, okay, because there is a square for V bar. So, then here also we have a whole square term. So, now this equation, now these 2 and these 2 can be cancelled out. So, here delta P by L we can write it as one term, and then dP by rho V naught bar square we can write one term. Here there is one epsilon, and then here there is epsilon square. So, we club together. So, we get epsilon cube, and then 1 minus epsilon is as it is, and then this 1 by 3 as it is, but there is a kind of tortuosity factor. So, let us consider one factor lambda 3. Okay, in order to bring the tortuosity factor, because this L is the packing length, okay, height of the packing, but the fluid element is travelling more than the packing length because of the tortuous path. So, because of that one, this lambda 1 factor should come. Already we have taken lambda 1, lambda 2 for previous derivation. So, let us take lambda 3. Okay. So, but however, this when you do the dimensional consideration, you take only the parameters, right. We do not take the constants etc. in the picture, okay, or those can be clubbed with the other kind of constants of the final equation that we are going to derive. So, without 1 by 3 lambda 3, it has to be defined. Because of the dimensional considerations, we take only parameters, we do not take the constants. So, here friction factor in the case of packed bed, what we get, Fp is equals to minus delta P by L dP by rho V naught bar square epsilon cube by 1 minus epsilon. This is what we get, right. Okay. So, now this is the additional term coming because of the packing material, and then this part is also coming because of the packing material. Okay. So, yeah, anyway, so now what we do, this Ergun equation we non-dimensionalize, so that Ergun equation can be written in terms of this Fp friction factor or F versus Rep or Re, that is what we are going to do now. So, this is the Ergun's equation that we have seen, which is having the additive contribution of both viscous losses and then kinetic losses. So, this is the viscous losses part, this is the kinetic loss part, and then this is the total overall pressure drop. So, overall pressure drop is having the additive contribution of the viscous losses and then kinetic losses. Now, this equation we are going to rearrange. Rather rearranging, what we do, we take this particular term, like right, and the first term whatever the terms we are having. So, we rearrange such a way that this rho V naught bar square by pi s dP and then 1 minus epsilon 1 divided by epsilon cube. This we keep here in the right hand side also. So, here, so that is the reason we have here rho V naught bar square 1 minus epsilon by pi s square dP square is as it is. So, whatever the mu is there, so that we are writing outside in the parenthesis, extra terms we are writing here in this parenthesis after taking out these these rounded terms, whatever these terms are there, we wanted to have common in both the terms. So, rho is required here, which is not there. So, we are multiplying one rho and then dividing one rho here, and then out of 1 minus epsilon whole square by epsilon cube, 1 minus epsilon by epsilon cube we are keeping here. So, 1 minus epsilon is remaining here, right, and then out of dP square 1 dP is taken out. So, 1 dP is remaining here, okay. And then here in first term initially we have V naught bar only, but we want V naught bar square. So, one V naught bar term is here dividing, so that it will be balanced. So, this is the additional term we are getting. So, now why are we doing these things? So, this particular term whatever is rounded here, this term will be taken common, okay. So, that we have this 150 multiplied by this term, and then if you multiply, that will be mu 1 minus epsilon by dP V naught bar rho plus 1.75. What is this term in this square parenthesis? It is nothing but 1 by Rep. It is nothing but 1 by Rep. Okay, that is Reynolds number for the case of packed bed. Okay. So, then for spherical particles we just strike out these pi s terms for the simplicity. We take the spherical particle, otherwise this dP should be multiplied by the pi s. Then so, delta P by L in the right hand side, rho V naught bar square 1 minus epsilon by dP epsilon cube we are taking common after taking pi s is equals to 1, that is for spherical conditions. So, from the first part we have 150 multiplied by mu 1 minus epsilon by dP V naught bar by rho. So, that is nothing but 1 by Rep. So, we can write 150 by Rep, and then this part is anyway taken common. So, only 1.75 is remaining, only 1.75 is remaining. So, now what we do, we take this particular term, whatever the term that we have taken common, that will take to the left hand side and combine with the pressure drop term to see what we will get, right. So, right hand side we are having only 150 by Rep plus 1.75, and then whatever the factor multiplication term was there, that we have taken to the right hand side and then combined with delta P by L, already existing delta P by L. So, if you see the friction factor derivation that we just derived, delta P by L multiplied by dP by rho V naught bar square multiplied by epsilon cube by 1 minus epsilon cube is nothing but friction factor, right. So, that is what we understand here from here. So, friction factor for packed bed is nothing but 150 by Reynolds number for packed beds plus 1.75. 1.75. This is what we get. And then this equation is having two contributions again. The first term, first contribution in the right hand side is nothing but the viscous losses. So, whatever this term is there, that is going to have influence if the Reynolds number is small, and then second part is known as the kinetic losses or the contribution due to the kinetic losses, and this part is going to have an influence or the dominance or dominant role when the Reynolds number is very large or the flow is very large. Okay. So, that is for laminar flow REP should be less than 5 to 10. In general, basically it should be less than 1 by default, but people have found by several experimental studies it can be extendable even up to 5 to 10. REP 5 to 10 also it is going to be laminar flow, and then under such condition F can be directly taken as 150 by REP, not necessary to add 1.75. Even if it is added, that is going to have a very small difference. Okay. Similarly, turbulent flow condition when REP is greater than 2000, then FP is equals to 1.75 only, that is a constant value. Okay. So, that is not going to change in general. Okay. So, whatever the first part viscous part contribution also if you add for large Reynolds number, so that is going to be very small value to show any influence on the final friction factor value, or from there whatever the pressure drop that you calculate. So, that means FP versus REP if you plot, let us say 0.1, 1, 10, 100, 10 cube, 10 power 4 like this if you have, then so it should be like something like this. For small Reynolds number it is going to be linear something like this up to RE 10 something like this, and then for large Reynolds number values it is going to be constant like this corresponding to value of 1.75, and then in between Reynolds number it is going to have a kind of a curved shape like this. So, this is in general valid for a viscous part or laminar flow, and this is in general this part is valid for the turbulent flows or large Reynolds number flows, so where only kinetic losses are only predominant. Here both contributions are going to have a significant effect, right. So, this is how we have to do the conversion of pressure drop information in terms of friction factor and then Reynolds number for Ergun equation. Okay. Now, what we do, we take a few example problem to see how to make use these equations in order to know pressure drop of a Newtonian fluid flowing through a packed bed having certain voidage. So, example 1, air flowing through packed bed of spheres having diameter 12.7 mm. So, there is a packed bed which is packed with a kind of spherical particles having diameter 12.7 mm. Void fraction that has formed because of this packing is 0.38. Bed diameter, so it is 12.7 mm is the particle diameter and then 0.61 is the bed diameter. So, see this diameter, the column is there, right. So, sorry, column in which you are doing this packing kind of thing, right. So, this is nothing but bed diameter and this is nothing but particle diameter, or particles are having certain diameters. Okay. Assume all the particles are having same size and shape, spherical shape is given and then size is 12.7 mm, that is also given. Okay. Bed height, the L, the packing height, let us say you packed up to this part. So, the packing height is L, it is not the length of the entire column, it is only the packing height. Okay. 2.44 mm is the packing height, and then air is flowing through this bed at 0.358 kg per second. Okay. It is not given volumetric flow rate, it is mass rate is given, and density of air is 1.2 0.21 kg per meter cube, and then density of and then viscosity of air is 1.9 into 10 power minus 5 Pascal second. So, calculate what is the pressure drop. Okay. Very simple, you have to find out the Reynolds number first of all, whether it is under the small region or the high flow region, so that you can use only that particular part. Okay. So, first actually in order to know the Reynolds number, you need to know the velocity, superficial velocity, at least V naught bar you need to know, but it is not given, rather it is given the mass velocity. If the mass velocity, if you multiply by the cross sectional area, then what will I mean, if you have the density, if your density is multiplied by the cross sectional area, then you will get the mass velocity rho V naught bar. Okay. So, that for that we need this cross sectional area of the bed, pi d square by 4, d is now, this is the column diameter. I am not writing dp, it is not particle diameter, it is for the bed, the column, whatever the column that has been taken for packing, that column diameter is 0.61 meters. So, it is having the cross section area of 0.2922 meter square. It can be written as S naught also, because in our derivation this we have represented as S naught. So, dp is given as 12.7 mm, and then height of the packing is 2.44 meters. So, the Reynolds number dp V naught bar rho by 1 minus epsilon mu for the packed bed, we have just derived it. So, here V naught bar rho, if you multiply it together, then you can write it as a kind of mass velocity, right. So, that means because V naught bar is not given, right, mass rate of the air is given. So, from there you can find out somehow this mass velocity. So, that is the reason we have written the Reynolds number in terms of g, that is mass velocity is nothing but rho V naught bar. So, that should be nothing but air flow rate divided by the cross sectional area. So, whatever the air flow rate is there, if you divide by this cross sectional area, then you will get mass velocity in kg per meter square second. Okay. So, this if you use here in this equation Reynolds number, then you will get 1321 as the Reynolds number. The air flow rate is given as 0.358 kg per second, and then cross sectional area of the bed that we have obtained it as 0.2922 meter square. So, the mass velocity g is going to be 1.1225 kg per meter square second. So, that you substitute here in the Reynolds number here, this is the mass velocity, this is the diameter of the particle, and this is the viscosity, and 0.38 is epsilon. So, Reynolds number is coming to be 1321. Okay. So, now we have this equation Fp is equals to 150 by Rep plus 1.75. We need to find out delta P. We were not asked to find out what is the friction factor. Okay. So, in terms of mass velocity, this we have to rearrange this equation. Why? Because here also we have this V bar term, which is V naught bar term, which is not known. So, what we do, you multiply by rho and then divide by rho, so that in the denominator we have rho square V naught bar square, so that we can write g square, that we can write as a g square. So, then we get delta P by L dp rho epsilon cube by g square 1 minus epsilon is equals to 150 Rep plus 1.75. So, now here everything is known, here everything is known, g also we have calculated, rest everything is given, Rep we have already calculated. So, we substitute here. So, delta P divided by L is 2.44 meter, dp is 0.0127 meters, and then rho is given as 1.221 kg per meter cube, epsilon is given as 0.38, g we calculated as 1.1225. Okay, Rep we calculated as 1321, right. So, when we substitute all these things and simplify, you will get 0.0497 into 10 power 5 pascals, that is nothing but 4.97 kilopascals. Okay. So, now what we do? We take another example problem. So, here what we do, we have seen, like, in a one of the statements when we deriving the after derivation of the Ergun equation, that Ergun equation can also be used for the mixture of particles. Only thing that if we are using that equation for mixture of particles, then dP has to be replaced by the surface mean diameter. Okay. So, that on that basis we are going to do this problem now. So, keeping all conditions same as in previous example number 1 that we just solved, but taking a mixture of spherical particles of different size as below, then what is the pressure drop? In the previous example problem, spherical particles were only taken, but all of these particles were having same size. Now also the spherical shape is there, but the different fractions are there. 25% by volume 25 mm size spheres are there, 40% by volume 50 mm size spheres are there, and then 35% by volume 75 mm size spheres are there, right. So, then you what you have to do? Solution, the screen analysis, we have to find out average particle size of the mixture as we did in the screen analysis chapter. Okay. So, when we do it, the average particle size dP average, especially surface mean diameter, if you name it, it is 1 by sigma xi pi s dPi, right. Now, dPi is spherical particles different size, 25 mm, 40 mm, like that it is given, 25 mm, 50 mm, and then 75 mm. Pi s is 1 because all particles are spherical shape only here also. Xi is also given 0.25, 0.4 and 0.35 fractions. So, when you substitute all these value, 0.25 by 25 mm, 0.4 by 50 mm, and then 0.35 by 75 mm, add them together and then take the reciprocal, then you will get 44.1176 mm, which is nothing but 0.044 mm. So, corresponding to this dP value, what is the Reynolds number that we can find out? Okay. So, when we do this one, dP is 0.044. In this case, we have not taken rho V bar, but we have calculated G because V naught bar is not given. G is we calculated as 1.1225 in the previous problem. Same thing we have to use. Viscosity, whatever is previous problem is same thing we have to use here. Void is 0.38 given in the previous problem, same thing we are using here, except dP, rest all the parameters conditions are same. So, when you substitute these values here in the Reynolds number definition, then you will get Reynolds number is approximately 4193, right. Then we have seen that Fp is equals to 150 by Rep plus 1.75. So, what we can see here, delta P multiplied by dP is there, and then all these are same in both the cases, previous case as well as this case. Only this delta P multiplied by dP is changing, and then this Rep is changing, rest everything is same. So, we can write it as two cases, case 1 previous problem, case 2 this case present problem. So, then we can write delta P1 dP1 by delta P2 dP2 is equals to 150 by Rep1 plus 1.75 whole divided by 150 by Rep2 plus 1.75, that we can write, so that to reduce our calculations. When we do this one, right. So, delta P1, let us take present case because Rep1 I have used 4193 in the calculations. So, delta P1 would be present case here. So, you will get only delta P1 is not known, dP1 we just find it out as a 0.44 mm something like this, right. Previous problem Rep is 1321, this problem Rep is 4193. So, then we substitute dP2 whatever that 4.97 kilopascal previous problem, and then you do the calculation, it is going to be 1.375 kilopascal. Okay. Now, we take one more example problem. Let us take packed bed of small cylindrical particles. The previous two problems we have taken spherical particles, though one case all particles are same size, but second problem all particles spherical shape, but there are different mixtures of different sizes, like 25, 50 and 75 mm like that. So, now here we are taking in this example problem small particles. So, small particle, small cylindrical particle in the sense that L should be equals to height of the cylindrical particle. So, something like this. This we have already seen. If you take this one as a kind of cylindrical particle, and if it is the diameter of the short cylindrical particle, and then this is the height of the short cylindrical particle, if h is equals to d, or they are very close to each other, then we can say those particle as a kind of short cylindrical particle, right. So, packing material is now short cylindrical particles, void edge is 0.4, height of the bed is 3.66 meters, and then here also air enters at certain temperature and pressure, corresponding viscosity 1.9 into 10 power minus 5, and then corresponding density 1.221 kg per meter cube for the air at these temperature and pressure conditions are given. Okay. And then here also the air flow rate is given. Air flow rate is given in kg per meter square second, that is based on empty cross section area of the bed. So, that means mass velocity is given. So, that is g is equals to rho v naught bar is given, rather v naught bar g, rather mass rate g is given. Okay. So, then what is the pressure drop? First what we have to do, we have to find out the sphere volume equivalent diameter dp for these short cylinders, and then we have to find out what is pi s. If you remember pi s, directly we can use for the short cylinder pi s values here. Sphere volume equivalent diameter can be taken as dp here, and then dp is equals to 6 vp by pi s sp. Vp is nothing but volume of the particle, sp is nothing but the surface area of the particle, that now particle is a short cylinder, and then pi s is the sphericity of that short cylinder. For short cylinder sphericity, we have already found it as a kind of 0.847 okay, in chapter 1. Now, the short cylinder, the volume, if you wanted to find out, you have to find out the cross section area of this thing, and then multiply this cross section area, and then multiply by height h, but now h is equals to d. So, we can write d multiplied by pi d square by 4. This is the pi d square by 4 is the kind of cross section area of the circular or the diameter of based on the cross section of the cylinder, and then multiplied by height of the cylinder, that will give the volume of the cylinder. Now, height of the cylinder is equals to diameter of the cylinder. So, that is d, and then 1 by surface area is that surface area of this cylindrical the circular cross section, this one, plus surface area of the remaining cylindrical section. So, circular section area, surface area is pi d square by 4, and there are two these circular sections are there. So, that should be multiplied by 2, plus surface area of the cylinder is pi d h. So, h is now d. So, that is pi d d. So, this also we have done previously, but still we are doing once again. Okay. So, then when we substitute here this pi d cube by 4 as a kind of volume of the short cylindrical particle, and then 6 pi d square as a kind of surface area of a small cylindrical particle, then substitute d values here, then we get 0.015 meters as the sphere volume equivalent diameter, or 15 mm is the dp here. Okay. Now, using this dp, if you find out the Reynolds number, dp g by 1 minus epsilon mu, because g is given, it is rho is given, but v naught bar is not given. So, rho into v naught bar is nothing but g mass velocity, which is given as 2.45, that you can use here. dp just now you find it out as 0.015 meters. 0.4 is the void edge. So, 1 minus epsilon is 0.6, and then 1.9 into 10 power minus 5 Pascal second is the viscosity. So, Reynolds number is coming approximately 3224. So, once this Reynolds number is known, then you can use F is equals to 150 by REP plus 1.75 equation, and then find out F, and from there you can find out delta P, or directly you can use the delta P equation in the Ergun's equation form. Either way you can do it. So, since previous two problems we have done in terms of friction factors, then you calculated delta P, but what we try to do here, we try to do the same thing directly using the Ergun equation, so that to have a practice for a different way. So, this is the Ergun's equation. So, here also this V naught bar is not known, both the terms are having V naught bar. So, what we do, we multiply wherever V naught bar is there by density, so that we can have a kind of here rho V naught bar as a G, and then rho square, and then you have rho here, so that here you have G bar square. In the second term you can have G square. Then delta P by L is equals to 150 G mu by pi s square dp square rho multiplied by 1 minus epsilon whole square by epsilon cube plus 1.75 G square pi s dp rho multiplied by 1 minus epsilon by epsilon cube. Now, if you substitute all these values, G is known, mu is known, pi s is known, dp you calculated, rho is known, epsilon is known. So, everything is known here in this right hand side equation. If you substitute all the values here and then simplify, you will get delta P as 23.963 kilopascals. Okay. So, this is about the flow through packed beds, especially for Newtonian fluids flowing through packed beds made of different types of particles. So, how to develop the equations for small Reynolds number, large Reynolds number we have seen, and then combining together we have found the equations, Ergun equation, which is valid for the entire range of Reynolds number, and then that information, the pressure drop versus measurable parameters of the packed bed system, that information, that our Ergun equation we have converted in terms of the frictional pressure drop or F versus REP. Okay, that we found out as Fp is equals to 150 by REP plus 1.75. Then we have taken some problems, so that gives a kind of most of the information about flow of a Newtonian fluid flowing through a packed bed. Okay. Now, next lecture what we do, we will be discussing about the flow of a Newtonian fluid through a fluidized bed. Okay. The reference for this lecture is primarily the for this especially packed bed lectures, we are referring the Unit Operations of Chemical Engineering by McCabe, Smith and Harriot book. Then other reference books are Unit Operations of Particulate Solids, Theory and Practice by Ortega-Rivas. Coulson and Richardson's Chemical Engineering second volume by Richardson and Harker is also a kind of good reference books. This Transport Processes and Unit Operations by John Koplis is having several example solved problems which can be helpful for the students. Other reference books are Unit Operations by Brown et al. And then Introduction to Chemical Engineering by Badger and Banchero. Thank you.